Nitish Kumar's dramatic re-election in December last year proves that good governance is rewarded with political gains. Bihar is hopefully an example that the effective implementation of innovative reforms, be it social, economic or political, can result in a tangible impact on the lives of the Aadmi. Hello and welcome to the Ministers of Change. I'm Shireen Bhan. In our concluding episode on Bihar, we focus on some of the most basic but innovative and forward-thinking reforms the Nitish Kumar administration has implemented. This week, we look at how public-private partnership in the healthcare space has given a new lease of life to government hospitals and brought back patients in thousands.
Across the state, at any time, on any day that you go, you'll find somebody there, which I think was a change and which also indicated how poor people vote with their feet.
We look at the efforts to create alternative employment opportunities for women.
Now what's interesting in these programs is that you go to the end of the pyramid, and that's where you strengthen organizational structures.
We look at experiments that are plugging leaks in state-sponsored schemes.
There's a lot of innovation going on in public service delivery in Bihar.
We deconstruct what's working and what's not in Nitish Raj. The one thing that the development paradigm in Bihar illustrates is that to efficiently address a symptom, one has to start from the root. For instance, improving the state of primary healthcare centers in the state has meant a drop in the infant mortality rate from 61 per 1,000 live births to 52. A small improvement, but given that Bihar still languishes far behind the national average, not a small achievement.
The state has been very focused in the sense doctors, drugs and diagnostics available at all block primary health centers. We are aware that while access to health services has improved in the state, there is a long way to go on quality. And with that in mind, we are subjecting government institutions to the ISO certification.
Under the National Rural Health Mission, women have been encouraged to deliver at primary healthcare centers by their ASHAs, or accredited social health activists. Incentivizing deliveries by making cash payments to both the ASHA and the mother have resulted in a spike in institutional deliveries in the state. But in Bihar, India's third most populous state, problems are not unidimensional and the choices an average citizen is forced to make sometimes shocking. Veena Devi, a resident of Hajipur in the Vaishali district, has 4 children. The youngest is 3 and in her mind old enough now not to succumb to disease. Confident that she won't lose any of her children, she came in for an abortion last week and is in today for a ligation. Generally, the non-governmental organization that manages these Surya clinics has been working in Bihar for 15 years and has over the last few years partnered the government under the National Rural Health Mission by training staff as well as accrediting private and government clinics.
A sign of good governance is that you would like to go and say that, hey, you have this problem, we have this solution. And one is money, so that is one difference which is there. So as you bring in money, there will be more people coming in, more work going on, more thought processes going on. So that vibrancy comes back. If you go to the State Health Society or to the Secretariat, you will see it for yourself that, you know, there are meetings going on, people talking about it. It's not that kind of, that thin layer of dust is not there.
So being back in the state after a long time, I was wondering whether we should make a presentation which built on all the good practices across all states, or should we limit ourselves to what we were doing. After mustering a lot of courage, I thought I must make a presentation which builds on what I have learned across the country while working on the Rural Health Mission. We made our presentation suggesting a few areas where we wanted to work, and all I recall is at the end of it, we were told very clearly that this is the mandate that you've asked for, this is the mandate that you've got, please go ahead and implement the program that you've been talking about. So I think that is the kind of openness and discussion which really motivate us to try our best.
The biggest change that I've noticed is freedom to work. You can actually work
create ideas and implement them, which is a great thing. You work without pressures. There are pressures of performance, of course, but there are no other pressures. No, we know that for lawful actions, I have all the support of the government. This is very, very clear. So everybody's that has really brought about the change. Now the same force and with the same resources, it is a motivated force now with high morale.
Another sign of change in the state administration is this English and communication skills course being conducted for Bihar public service officers on their demand.
It rained cats and dogs yesterday. तो मैं बोलूं कि बिल्ली और कुत्ते बरसे कल रात, क्या ये सही होगा?
कुछ अफसर्स थे मतलब इंक्लूडिंग मी जो अंग्रेजी में कंफर्टेबल फील नहीं करते थे। इस वजह से हमने रिक्वेस्ट की कि सर से कि क्लास एक कैसी की जाए जिससे हमारा अंग्रेजी का स्किल इंप्रूव हो सके ताकि हम ट्रेनिंग का अच्छे से मतलब ज़्यादा फायदा उठा सकें। और उन्होंने अच्छे से रिस्पॉन्स करके हमें ये क्लास अवेल कराई।
For the first time, somebody has thought of imparting communication, soft skills to these officials who are going to, well, tomorrow they are going to handle a whole lot of work. They are going to be interacting with the public. So, yes, definitely it's a new change. It's a very pleasant change.
Not surprising in a state where one of the first things Nitish did was to replace Remington typewriters in all government offices with computers and set up a first-of-its-kind call center to register right-to information applications. Bihar's Chief Minister knows that if he needs to bring about large-scale changes, he will need to embrace technology. The World Bank's Technical Assistance Program is small if one looks at the funds invested, but it's big if one looks at the changes it's been able to bring about.
So I remember the Secretary of Finance of Bihar telling us how important it was for him that he can sit down on his computer and call all the files about what's the utilization of every line of the budget. So this is in the realm of things that are not visible through the naked eye outside informs people, but it's vital for the running of administration. So that was one example. I was referring earlier to the fact that in some cases the governments of Bihar and Orissa and other low-income states cannot use the grants that are made available by the government of India. And sometimes it is for reasons as simple as they don't have people skilled to make a financial reporting or a financial request, fill the form, fill it adequately, put all the information necessary. So that's what technical assistance does, is to allow the building of capacity, human and technical, computer systems, software systems, that will allow to use, to operate more efficiently.
3 hours away from Patna in Teeskora village, another experiment is underway. An experiment undertaken at the Chief Minister's behest to bring transparency and weed out leakages in the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme or NREGA. E-Shakti, a public-private partnership with Glodine TechnoServe, in Phase 1 has made biometric smart cards for almost 8 lakh below poverty line individuals in Bihar.
इस पे आपको और भी सुविधाएं मिलेंगी इस कार्ड से, तो इसलिए आपको ये कार्ड बनवाना है, ठीक है ना?
There is definitely a focus on implementation of these new technologies. I think they have an open-minded approach. Mr. Nitish Kumar is, he is very focused on this. So I think that makes a big difference.
When the UID from the Government of India started, in Bihar, the E-Shakti project was already 1 year old. So the entire UID team visited Patna. Mr. Nilekani was here. They looked at our processes, that how robust our processes are, and UID sought our help in many places.
Only those individuals in possession of the E-Shakti card and whose fingerprints tally with the data stored on the chip will now be eligible to draw work and payment under the NREGA.
कार्ड आने से सुविधा ये मिली है कि हम लोग के काम मिलेगा और कहीं खाता खुलाने नहीं जाने पड़ेगा, यह पैसा मिल जाएगा.
She's right. She won't have to move out of her village to access the bank account open for her under E-Shakti because the bank will come to her, like it has to these people at an NREGA worksite in Leh village, 45 minutes from Teeskora. Central Bank of India, the government's partner on this project, sends out its business agents once a week to Leh to facilitate credits and deposits.
They are of course low value customers at the moment because the amount of the balances that they have and the money that they will bring in will be very small. But hopefully over the years they will emerge into value customers for the bank. At all levels we receive tremendous support and tremendous encouragement. The Chief Minister, of course, he's fast becoming an icon, and he being an engineer himself, he understood broadly the issues involved, and he also insisted that we achieve the highest standards possible.
All of these might be steps in the right direction, but the fundamental complaint with NREGA has been the inability of state governments to generate 100 days of work for people. Grassroots level activists see this as a lack of an overarching vision to integrate various state programs.
Crores of rupees have got spent in the Kosi area and still getting spent. Wasn't it obvious that all these crores of rupees of work that is being done through contractors and machinery should be given to MNREGA workers? I mean, this doesn't need a workers' organization to rise up and build a movement. You know, this is just, so that is the lack of political will.
लोग यहाँ से फोन करके अपने मोबाइल से, सबके पास मोबाइल है, मोबाइल से बोलिए कि ये लगे.
It might take a while for systems and processes to evolve to the extent that such overlaps reduce. But to the credit of the government, it's not shy of listening to complaints. And it was to ensure that communication lines are always open that this 24/7 call center was inaugurated by Nitish Kumar in 2009. People call in from across the state to make inquiries and register complaints, all of which are logged and passed on to local government bodies for follow-up action.
We have to be able to create a block, which is a self-contained administration. Therefore, all that the administration at the center as well as at the state's headquarters, that their job is essentially to set the policy and set the direction and send those instructions to this self-administrable unit at a block level so that they can provide governance which is much closer to the people. So I think that's an experiment that, in my opinion, the Chief Minister and his Council of Ministers have successfully implemented in Bihar. And that's something that I think the rest of the states essentially should emulate.
Until a few years ago, any proposal amounting to 25 lakh rupees or more required the cabinet's approval. But Nitish Kumar realized that this was leading to inordinate delays. So now, any proposal amounting to 10 crore rupees or higher requires cabinet approval. The focus has shifted on delivery and implementation. Now, this has resulted in the planned expenditure of Bihar moving up increasingly since 2005-2006 from 4,465 crore rupees to 14,184 crore rupees in 2009-2010. Nitish has now set an ambitious target of 24,000 crore rupees for this fiscal. Coming up on the Ministers of Change, we look at what Nitish Kumar's government is doing to create alternative employment opportunities for women and what's working and what's not in Bihar.
You go to the end of the pyramid, and that's where you strengthen organizational structures.